Hello again, everybody. Happy Friday. It don't even feel like Friday. Friday in lockdown. Yeah, I thought I was going to do a whole different subject about the band today, but I realized I actually got some text and emails and phone calls. And I realized it myself, too, that a lot of the things I was talking about Tuesday, I just kind of left open-ended. Well, I'm going to close those gaps today because there's a lot of stuff yet today. I can't tell you about the band's first 5 years in 30 minutes. So I don't know. I'll try to wrap it up today. But while we wait for people to show up, I'll tell you where you are right now. You're in the mail order room of Clayton Manor. I'll show you around a little bit. See that? That's all the stuff you need for mailing stuff out right there, huh? Tape, magic markers, stapler, everything. Here's my list of notes so I don't go too far off the beaten path. There's the stickers you guys get when you order something, and I put them in the packages. Yeah. I got my drinks, my warm tea. Got some nice cold water. And my current drink of choice, Vicks 44, just in case I start hacking and everything. No, it's not coronavirus. It's what's left of my sinuses. You guys know Clint Harrison that was in the Flat Tires? He used to run a club in Hickory, North Carolina. That lamp came out of it. His girlfriend gave it to me. It's still working. There's a werewolf. And there's the Whiskey Rebel. It's not a bottle with a Whiskey Rebel sticker on it. It's the Whiskey Rebel. Everyone say, give a salute to the Whiskey Rebel for me. All right. All right, there's my packaging supplies where I package y'all's good stuff up. Look at there. Dressed to Kill, autographed by Ace Frehley. Oh, yeah, I got that done. That's real. Sonny and Cher tour book, 1971. Let's see what else we got in here. There's my 7 inches that I'm hanging on to. Yeah, that's the gargoyle from Tremont that used to rest over the soundboard. There's a fake possum that I made David Allen Coe do a double take, standing at the side of the stage, wearing that around my neck. He looked like he was about to go, like, what the fuck? But anyway. Hey, I'll tell you about this right quick. You know what that is? That's one of only 4 bottles of ANTiSEEN cologne made by the Jack Starr. You know Jack Starr on Norton Records. And look here, Sick Rick, the 2 versions of the mask he did of me. Look at there, choir boy for any of you Catholic priests out there. One of Joe Young's city council signs. 2 of the Gigi masks. And I was going to tell you about a page on Facebook, Destructo Central. It's run by my good friend Mondo Braswell of the great band Taped Fist. Well, another good buddy of mine posted some pictures today of an ANTiSEEN birthday party. Now, there was a Jeff Clayton pinata, and if you don't believe it, right there's the head of it, of the Jeff Clayton pinata. That's it right there, huh? I ain't lying to you. All right. Here's all the records that I keep in stock here. Here's my axes that I play with Judas Bullethead. You all know I'm a fantastic guitar player. More records. There, y'all need to buy some. I got too many in here. See that right there? That's exactly what you think it is. That's a poster of Hall & Oates. You know who gave me that poster of Hall & Oates? Tesco V himself. That's right. I built these shelves up so my stuff's in front of H&O. I might have to move them out here to this wall right here. What do y'all think? I think that's what's going to happen. All right. There's some people showing up now. Let's get down to business here. Let me figure out how to turn this back around. There we go. All right. Yeah, one of the things that I started talking about, and I just left completely open-ended, is I brought some records with me to the studio to let Scott Savage and Jeff Murdoch, both from the band The Streets, to let them hear. I was like, man, this is kind of what we're going for. And I brought the 12-inch version of, not the only version, of Punk and Disorderly, and played for them Someone's Gonna Die Tonight by Blitz. And I also played the 7-inch version of Venom, Live Like an Angel, Die Like a Devil. So I play these. Man, this is, now I know that those two really don't have a lot to do with each other, but the feel is what we were talking about. We went nasty. We don't want it nice and clean. We don't want to sound like REM, like every band from Charlotte wanted to do. They wanted to sound like REM. We don't want to sound like REM. We want to sound like these. They play it, and they're just like, so you want to sound like this? And we're like, yeah. Okay. So, that's what happened there when we recorded Drastic. Also, too, around this time, we had the Drastic EP, and we also had the song that became one of our theme songs, Destructo Rock. Those were both terms that were used by other people, that other people said to us, and we just thought, oh, wow. Let me tell you how Drastic was named. We played at a club in Knoxville, Tennessee, called Vic and Bill's. And man, when I tell you that our shows used to be, kind of wild, I mean, it's like, we didn't know the fine art of having a smoke machine. So we used smoke bombs, like the kind that you light and it's smoke. It's not mist or fog, it's smoke, and it stinks. It smells like sulfur. We'd light off 10 or 15 of those every show, along with an entire row of firecrackers that were usually lined inside the bass drum. And we had makeshift flash pots that didn't go off half the time. We had to take a match and throw in them, and poof, then they'd go up. Man, it was really, the best way I described it was a flea market version of the Alice Cooper show. When we had mannequin heads, and I used to wear the big pilgrim hat. You had machetes and sickles and all these punk rocker heads. And that night at Vic and Bill's, man, we got that place so smoked up, man, you couldn't see nothing. And I would do this bit with the purple Kool-Aid and Alka-Seltzer, dry. Pour the whole pack in your mouth. Sit there for a second, and man, all of a sudden, that Alka-Seltzer starts bubbling. and it mixes with the purple, and so you get this purple stuff coming out, you know. I guess it was supposed to be kind of like The Exorcist or something. Oh, we did green before too, but and while it's all smoked up, man, we just lit off a damn row of fireworks, and the firecrackers were just flying like pow, 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 and no one could see where they're coming from, and so someone called the police and said that someone was shooting a gun in like in the club. It didn't help things that there was a biker club there too. And they just stood at the back. They were just looking at us like, what the fuck are these guys doing? And so here comes the cops, and they were all. I mean, we were finished by the time they got there, of course, and we're loading everything out. And man, they were not happy about the, you know, like they're saying, they're like, were any of you shooting off a firearm? We're like, no, man, it was firecrackers. I mean, and for some reason we thought that was going to be better, you know, but it wasn't. They were not happy. And they made us load our stuff up really fast, and they escorted us out of Knoxville. True story. But before we got into the vehicles to leave, this guy that was at the show just came up. He was a black guy. He came up and he just talked to me and Joe, and he just goes, man, that's the craziest shit I've ever seen. I'm like, thanks, man. And he goes, that was just, man, it was drastic. We laughed. And we're just like, man, that's what the name of our first record's got to be. Drastic. Yeah, so that's what we named it, and that's what it is. And then, remember me telling you, I'm gonna delve into two stories kind of at one time here. When we got to play with White Cross. Now people think, oh, is that the Christian band White Cross? No. White Cross was a hardcore band out of Richmond, Virginia. And man, why they weren't talked about in the same vein as Black Flag and the Circle Jerks, and I mean, other than the fact that they weren't from California, I don't know, because they were amazing. Man, every time I saw them, I was just like blown away. And so when we got them to come play Carolina, man, that was a big deal for us. And so when we got kicked out of the Milestone and couldn't do that show there, we had to do it at a garage in Mount Holly. Our buddy Freddie Hutch arranged for that to happen. And man, a lot of people showed up for that. You know, I think the whole outlaw bit of not doing it in the club, you know, doing it somewhere completely different, really appealed to people. Because later on, that was how we had to do it all the time. And so we end up going back to the barn in Boone, the place where we played our first show ever, and we're playing with White Cross there. And you know, it was me, Bill, Brad, and Joe, and we did the whole fireworks thing. We took our speaker cabinets and threw them off the stage, and Brad kicked over his drums, and you know, and while they're blowing up and shit, and Crispy, the lead singer of White Cross, was just standing there laughing, and we come up and you know, we're talking to them, and they're just like, he's just like, man, that's like Destructo Rock, right at the end there, huh? And we're just like, oh, another term that we will take and use, Destructo Rock. So, the lead singer of White Cross from Richmond dubbed us Destructo Rock. Now, White Cross, they put out a 7-inch and a 12-inch called What's Going On, man. If you guys can ever track down, I mean, it's on YouTube. Listen to it. If you ever track it down, it's really good stuff, man. we covered one of their songs on Dying Breed called Jump Up. Okay, let me see what else I got here. So, you know what, I'm going to start marking stuff off so I don't start talking about the same thing over and over again. Oh, back to recording Drastic. Remember I told you guys that Kent Masterman, Scott Savage's brother-in-law, got us into CPCC, but I forgot to tell you why he got us into CPCC. Because this was his end of class project. This was like what was going to give him his grade for his recording engineer class. So Drastic was a school project. Our first record was a school project. How about that? That's all right. I like that. Anyway, let's see. I talked about Instructor Central. I talked about Knoxville. All right. Talked about White Cross and Instructor Rock. All right, here we go. About those shows being nuts, man. We played the St. Stephen's Lions Club in Hickory. And how we got away with that horse shit, to this day, I do not know, man. I think I knocked a big piece out of the floor with a mic stand. Nonsense. Yeah. And just to show you how reckless we were and didn't care about anything, on New Year's Eve, going in from 83 to 84, we played at our buddy's, Clay Rogers. Clay was the one who used his clippers and shaved my head. I decided that before the first show in October of 83, I said, man, when we do this first show, I want to shave my head completely bald. Now, it wasn't buzzed, man. It was buzzed down and then straight razored. I was clean shaving for battle. And I said, okay, this is the first show, and I'm not going to cut it anymore. And other than getting a few, trims here and there when it started to dread up and stuff like that. But here it is. Here it is today. All the way around here. But Clay decided to have a New Year's Eve party at his house. And it was, Clay also had a band. And it had our friend Freddie Hutch in it. And Melvin Whitlow. And it was called Social Savagery. And it was Social Savagery. And I think it was Death Row from Columbia. NRG from Hickory, and us. And you might think, oh, well, you're playing in someone's living room. Surely you didn't go the whole 9 yards. No, we went the whole 9 yards in the damn living room. 10 smoke bombs, 2 rows of black cats inside the kick drum, and then we throw the kick drum out the front door as it's on fire. And it goes rolling down the hill. And I don't remember this, but everyone says he hit a cop car. Maybe it did. I don't know. But that's how we did things back then. And we were wondering why we couldn't ever play anywhere. So, and you know, that kind of stuck for years. You know, after the God damn, I lost my train of thought here. Okay, after we started renting the halls and playing them, you can only do that for so long. Too, we finally started going around and asking places that weren't punk rock clubs if we could play. Because we were, like I said, we were at war with Bill Flowers. We weren't going back to the Milestone for kicking out Scott Whipple, the guy that put on the Punk in the Hills Festival in Boone that we played our first show. So we took a stand for someone else that we felt was being treated wrong. So we went to a club on Tybola Road called the Yellow Rose. It looked like a country bar. You know, I don't think it was a biker bar. I didn't have that reputation. But they had cover bands. They had a real nice stage in there. And it was run by a couple named Dave and B. Malden, who are also people that need credit for being people that helped the band out in its early days, because we literally had nowhere to go. And we did a ton of shows there, and we brought in bands. Joe and I booked DRI, Toxic Reasons, and all the local bands played there and stuff. And that was one of the nights where, I don't know, we used to get always associated with Gatorade bottles. Back a long time ago, Gatorade used to come in glass bottles. But see, since all you youngins grew up, and they want you, they don't want you guys hurting yourselves, and, they want you to be safe all the time. They made them plastic. But back then, they were made of glass. Back when men were men, you could drink out of a glass Gatorade bottle. Well, I busted that Gatorade bottle on the bottom of the mic stand one night, and there's a big piece going like that, and man, I hit my head with it, and it cut, and I must have hit some kind of really good vein in there, because, man, I'm telling you, I never bled that much in my life up to that point. I've bled that much since, but at the time, I was kind of freaked out. I was like, oh, no. And I was just laying there on the stage, probably looked like a messier version of the Metallic KO record cover. But Joe just had his guitar, it's feeding back like crazy. He leaned down to me. He says, "Man, are you going to play or are you going to die?" I said, "I'm playing, man. Hold on." So I'm getting all this blood out of my face. And hey, another thing that happened at the Yellow Rose, man, Bill Cates probably get a little upset with me about this one, but man, Bill built this thing, and I wish I had it today. Now that I would know what to do with it, but how many times have you said that in your life? But man, there were these big metal letters about this big, and it spelled out ANTiSEEN, and we had it in front of the drum kit. Well, me, I'm tripping all over it, knocking the letters down, bending some of the screws in the bottom, and Bill was just like, I make this great thing for us, and you stomp all over. And somewhere I got a picture of that, but it's only like an N and a T and a E, in front of the stage. But yeah, Dave and B. Malden at the Yellow Rose, man, really instrumental in our development. Back to the boycott. Yeah, we boycotted. We took a stance for someone that was done wrong, and we learned a very valuable lesson back then. A lesson that I take with me today, man. I got dozens of boycotts going on all the time. No, don't talk to people about it, because I don't expect no one to take up my damn boycotts, take up my causes. Because we had this thing that we felt we were doing a real righteous thing, man, and everybody that was along with us, even the guy that we were doing it for, they all went back. When the work got too hard, they all went back to the milestone. Man, I think even some of the members in our band did. Me and Joe did not. We stood our ground about that. And eventually, Bill Flowers, I don't know if he sold it to people, but different people were running it. And there were a couple guys named Jeff and Tim that were running it. They ended up doing the Pterodactyl Club, and they started running it, and we found out that the Dead Boys were coming. So me and Joe declared boycott over. We went to the Dead Boy show. That's when we declared the boycott was over. We missed the Exploited at the Milestone. We missed Black Flag during the Slippin' In tour. And you have a lot of people, a lot of speculation going on about that because that show got shut down. All I can say is, war is hell. War is hell, man. Sometimes Black Flag gets shut down in Charlotte. Anyway, let's move on. We learned a lesson, though. We learned that you can't count on a big group of people like that. And it kind of made our name mean even more to us. ANTiSEEN. You know what? Fuck your scene. We'll play to anybody. You ain't got to have a mohawk to come see us. You don't got to look like you're on King's Road in London to come see us. You don't have to look like the little punk rock guy on the Circle Jerks records. Man, you could be rednecks, metal guys. We didn't care. Man, anybody was welcome to see us. And then I guess around then when we did welcome crowds, we got some bad elements sometimes. And it's not that we aligned ourselves with them, it's just that we weren't going to keep them out just because other people didn't like them. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the skinheads. I personally never had any problems with them, except for I guess it was during '93, the More Possum days, when Cosmo was down and Cocknoose and all were playing. Man, I'll touch that a little bit, but we'll talk about that later and try to keep things in order. But that was the day we said, man, we run this fucking town. Y'all don't. Especially one of our damn shows. But I guess toward the end of the drastic period, that's what I'm calling it, for lack of a better name to call it. Bill left, and this is one of them parts where I gotta be really diplomatic, because I don't want to let out a lot of anyone's personal stuff. But Bill had some stuff he was dealing with, and he had to give that his attention, and on top of that, as if that wasn't enough, the girl Bill was dating started dating Brad. So if you think we had problems before, that caused some problems, and I won't tell her name on here. I mean, I'm good with her and everything. Everything's fine now, but Back then it wasn't. And it eventually, even after Bill was gone, that whole dynamic led to Brad being replaced. If I was an older and wiser man then, I would have gotten rid of Brad in the beginning for doing that. It wasn't a cool thing to do, and but that's water under the bridge. So I mean, I can't do anything about that now. But that's the call I wish I had made, but I didn't, and so we limped on along with that problem for a little while. But alright, that's all my stuff I have. Actually, I don't know how long I've been talking, but I want to talk about what you guys have said to me on Facebook and stuff. I see some of you were saying, you know, that you want me to continue. I plan to keep doing this, especially during the stay-at-home orders and stuff. I mean, it's something for me to look forward to, and I'm just really glad that you guys seem to be enjoying it, and I hope I'm not skipping all over the place and confusing everyone all the time. But a fan of ours, Stick Elliott, said to me, you know, man, you should do a Q&A, like, with an audience, like live audience sometime. You know, I would love to, if there's anything you guys got questions about, you know, you can ask me. I'll tell you. I'll be as honest with you as I want to be, as I need to be, and nothing's off limits. So I'll talk about anything. Let's see here. Can you tell us what happened to tabloids? Typical story, you know. You get a good thing going, and it goes and goes and goes, and then all of a sudden the support drops, and then those guys sold the business. I mean, the building still stands. I don't know what it is now. I think it's one of those gambling places. I could be wrong. I don't know. I haven't been in there since then. The Dean of Science wants to know if I'm using his coffee coasters. Yes, I'm not using them right here now in the workstation, but I use them in there in the living room when I'm watching TV and stuff. But let's see. But yeah, Stick, you actually brought that up to me a long time ago. Like, man, it must have been like 7 or 8 years ago. You brought that up to me. If any of you think that's a good idea, let me know. I was talking to Sir Barry Hannibal, the other day. He's doing all right doing this, and he was saying to me, he's like, man, you know, these things are pretty good you're doing, you know, because like we said, there's not going to be an ANTiSEEN documentary. No one's going to do one. I'm not going to do it. Why should I work on my documentary? If anyone wants to document us, goddamn, I'll talk to you all day, all night, man. I got footage. I got so much footage of this band, man. I don't know how to transfer none of this stuff. Some of you eggheads out there that know how to do this, man, speak up. Let's transfer some of this footage. I've got it all. Man, I have got when we picked up Rocky Erickson from his house and drove him to his mother's house. I've got that on video, but the world has never seen it. Because I don't know how to transfer Super 8s to, I guess I can maybe do some of this stuff to that company called a Legacy Box. Maybe I could do that. But, man, I got all kinds of stuff. And I saw Mike Pilmer there. Mike Pilmer is the man that does our website. been a fan ever since he was a little kid. He used to come to the Yellow Rose, and they would come in and watch during sound check because they weren't old enough to be in for the shows. They'd come in. As a matter of fact, he's got one of the sound checks on a cassette tape. Now that might see the light of day one time. You know, I got a plan at some point to do an album called Possum Stew, and it's going to be all the clips and stuff like of us arguing in the studio, of us checking levels, of singing crazy lyrics to songs that are like I think we got a version of John Bowman singing I Don't Ask You for Nothing in an Australian accent, like he's Crocodile Dundee or something, shit like that, stuff that's funny. It'll be a funny record, and especially hearing us, sound check. Yeah, when we played the Yellow Rose, we had to bring a damn is Pilmer the Devo obsessive? Yes, he also works for Devo. He only picks the best groups to work for. Blondie, Devo, ANTiSEEN. It's a natural progression that you would work for these bands. That's what you would think of. And, the Jeff Leppard record was recorded at the Yellow Rose. Dean Assange just brought that up. Okay, it's easy. There's an adapter. Blah, blah, blah. You know what? I don't know none of that. I got to give it to somebody and say, here, man, transfer that. Actually, I'll probably get in touch with our old buddy Lloyd Nickel out in Oklahoma. He's real good at that. He's the guy that films for the Dwarves. So maybe I'll take care of that. I would love to get some of that stuff up and just put it on the old on the ANTiSEEN page. If nothing else, just put it on YouTube. I mean, you try to make DVDs and sell them. No one buys DVDs anymore. All right. Mondo says, how did the Sub Pop deal come about? Well, when Sub Pop first started and they were doing a single of the month club, I guess it was a thing you kind of subscribed to, and they'd send you one every month or so. They were scarfing up every band that still played rock and roll. There was a ton. All the Seattle bands, and we were touring on the West Coast in '92, and we were there, and we were recording with Jack and Dino when we did that single of Fornication, and those guys got in touch with us, and Tom O'Keefe went over there and did all the business dealings, man. And at that time, they gave us the most money for a record anyone had ever given us. And it was just for 2 songs. And when we got back to the Carolinas, we got with Todd Goss, who is our merch man to this very day. He used to record us back then, and we recorded that Sub Pop single in the old Cat's Cradle in Chapel Hill. One night after they had closed, about 2, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. It's crazy, but yeah, Barry was saying to me before, you should keep doing that. But you know what? He said, do it even after lockdown. And if you guys are interested in that, I'll keep doing it. I don't know if I'll do it twice a week as it goes on. I might just do it once a week or once every other week or something. But while we're in lockdown, I'll be doing it Tuesdays at 5 o'clock and Fridays at 5 o'clock. And I guess the next stuff we're going to talk about is the band shifting from that first core lineup into what was the lineup that would do Honor Among Thieves, which is our debut LP. And we'll also have to talk about EP Royalty, because those those two records kind of did this in midair as far as releasing and recording and everything. So I'll give you the straight story on that, and I'll show you around the house too. I mean, I know at the beginning of this, I gave you a quick look at the merchandise room. Man, I didn't show you guys the coolest thing in here. Hold on a second. Let me look at this. Did any of y'all remember that? That was done by my good pal Jeff Williams, also known as Biggie Stardust. We have this on stage occasionally, and there's my sickle. As you can see, it has not been cleaned. Man, that's probably where the coronavirus damn started, off this damn sickle. But yeah, so y'all get to see that. That hangs in there, and it's still got the red lights around it that light up when I plug them in. I would plug them in, but y'all don't want to see me trying to fumble around and find a damn cord that I can't reach. But give us support to the West. Man, we're coming back to the West Coast. We will be back to the West Coast at some point. It's been a long time. It's been a very long time. You want to know if we're going to do the gun logo again? Yeah, I foresee that happening again. Probably sooner than later. And you want to hear stories about the adult bookstore? Well, see that. I worked at and lived in one of the most notorious bookstores, adult bookstores in Charlotte, North Carolina, called Joy Adult Bookstore on Independence Boulevard. I lived in it. And that had a profound effect on the band as far as the direction we went. But I guess it's about time for me to wrap it up now. I guess I've hit the 30-minute mark. I may have gone over today. But, man, I really appreciate you guys coming and checking me out doing this, and all of you that listen to it later. I know it's a lot to take in at one time, but I really appreciate it. And I hope everybody's doing all right through all this. I think we're going to be okay. I don't know when, but I think it's going to happen soon. And until then, man, in the messages of this video, write some of your questions, and maybe I'll try to address them next time I go live on Facebook. But yep, that's all I got now. Have a good weekend. Have a good week next week. We'll see you again Tuesday at 5 p.m. And I have not forgotten about the Gigi stories either. I have not forgotten. I'm gonna sprinkle them in. I'm not gonna give them to y'all at one time. I know I haven't given you one yet. It's because I want to rope you in. I want to rope you in. I want you to come here. Come here.